Hey guys, the Explorer of Horror here, the Horror Boy. Welcome back to some more videos, and today we're getting into a film that was actually recommended to me by a good friend, John Grande. I'll be leaving a link to his channel in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and definitely go check out his content. He makes some great videos. I really enjoy his show. It's one of my favorite shows to watch here on YouTube. Absolutely wonderful content. So go check out John Grande's channel. And he recommended me to watch this movie. It's a film that I've heard about. It's a pretty infamous movie. I'd never seen it before until now. And I must say, it surprised the hell out of me. It's Madman from 1981. It's a 5.39 liter by Joe Giannone. And I don't think this director was going to make anything else, which is really unfortunate, because you could tell he had a great eye for the visual aspect of this movie. I mean, the visuals in this movie are actually really probably that and the gore. I'd say the gore, the killer, the visuals and lighting, and the music to me are like the strongest elements of this movie. And I got some other things I like as well, but Madman is a classic slasher. I really enjoy it. It's got a very basic story. It's another one of those summer camp slashers. So you have a legend of Madman Mars, this guy who had a axe to his face. Kind of reminds me of Hatchet Face from the Hatchet movies, Victor Crowley. You could definitely tell there's a heavy influence of this character in that movie. I mean, design-wise, he looks different, but certain things. The fact that he uses an axe, whereas in that, a hatchet is used, but in this, a lot of the kills were with an axe. It's this big, brooding killer with this really creature-sounding voice. And I really enjoyed the opening of the movie and how they set things up. And you have a summer camp. Madman Mars gets stirred up. These teens are being stupid, and they stir him up, and he begins killing them off one by one. Very basic story. And there's a lot of positives here. First of all, I really think this movie has a great atmosphere to it. And the movie, apparently the Blu-ray has this blue tone that was put over it, which from the rumors I've heard, it kind of is too blue at times. But the version that I seen was actually, there wasn't a whole lot of that blue tint, but there was still blue lighting in there. And it's I love the usage and the choice of blue lighting in films, because I think it looks so good, especially in horror films. You've seen it in Halloween movies, such as Halloween 1, 4, and 6. You've seen it in plenty of movies that have used low blues. House and Corpses has used some blues, some purples, some reds. Honestly, that movie's lighting was just, all kinds of colors. But the usage of lighting in this movie being the blue shade, blue tone lighting, I thought gave it a great atmosphere. The woods atmosphere I thought was filmed very well. The movie takes place mostly at night, and it really gives it a creepy vibe, creepy atmosphere. The wind is howling, there will be certain shots of the trees and the leaves, and I thought it got a really creepy, atmospheric look to the movie. I will say this too, the Madman Mars lore I really enjoy. The story of this old, dilapidated house in the back of the woods, and there's this guy in there named Madman Mars. If you stir him up, he'll come and get you. And I love the beginning of the movie. There's this campfire scene. They're telling the story about the Madman Mars character. I love the way it builds up. The gore I thought was on point. I wouldn't say it's definitely not on the level of, speaking of Hatchet, it's not on that level of gore. It's not even on the level of gore of My Bloody Valentine Uncut. If you've seen that movie Uncut, this one's not as gory as that. But this movie is still pretty decently gory. There are some kills that I really enjoyed. There's a scene where the madman jumps onto a hood and a girl gets decapitated. There's a scene where a guy gets hung, and it kind of just, it's creepy because the guy's getting ready to escape, and Madman walks up and grabs him and just yanks him down. You hear his neck pop and crack. It's just a really intense death scene. I thought in this movie, you didn't need, the gore is great when it's there, the blood is great when it's there, but you don't necessarily need a lot of blood and gore for that, because it was just the intensity of it that was done very well. And this movie's got a great musical score to it. It has a lot of 80s. I almost said 80s. 80s synth scores, dark tones, really slow. I love the score of the movie and how they use a lot of the, just like I said, just dark, brooding tones, and I love the music of the movie. Um, so yeah, positives. It's filmed well. It's directed very well. It's a very short movie. It's an hour and 28 minutes. The pacing we'll get into, but for the most part, the pacing isn't too bad to get through. The characters, we'll get into that, but I will say this. They did do some interesting things with the story and how certain people die who you didn't expect to die, or the way the movie ends is definitely unexpected. And I kind of like how it goes full circle at the beginning of the movie. So a lot of positives here. If I had any nitpicks, it would probably be the fact that in this movie the ending is very abrupt. The way it ends, I don't know if they ran out of budget, I don't know if they ran out of time, but it does end very abruptly. And granted, you could say, well, it's definitely a different ending because the lead girl is going to the house. And by the way, I didn't mention this yet, the house, the abandoned house look, with the howling wind and the blue dark tone lighting, I love that look of that farmhouse. It was so cool. But she goes there, she gets killed, the lead girl does, and really enough, the Madman dies by an accident. A candle I think it's like a candle falls over or something like that, so where something catches on fire, and he really dies by accident. And I was kind of surprised by that. I was like, wow, so the lead girl dies, and he just dies from a fire, like engulfs the house. It was really an accident, kind of an accidental death of this character, and the ending is very abrupt. So I didn't really get where that was from. I don't know if it was because of the budget at the time, but it was a very abrupt ending, very, I would say, anticlimactic ending. Another thing is these characters, I will say this, they're definitely not bland. They're not forgettable. They're very memorable, but there are just certain scenes, like you have the most cringe-worthy love scene I've ever seen, where the couple is in this hot tub, and they're kind of swimming around and around this hot tub, and this romantic music is playing, and the vocals, and everything's romantic, and they just hug and kiss at the end of the scene, and I'm just like, and it was like a 3-minute scene. I'm like, what the fuck? It was definitely, and like, so that scene I thought was really like, what? And then there's a scene where literally they're all laying by this campfire, and the girl goes, this one girl, she's like, this is a great fire. I think the character's name is Bill. This is a great fire, Bill. And then the guy's like, yeah, I love the way the flames burn the wood, or whatever he says. And you realize there's a group of people laying by this fire, just laying to look up at the stars. I'm just like, what the? It was just those random moments, but it wasn't necessarily bad. It was just definitely unique, and I thought it made it memorable. You know, you're definitely not gonna forget these characters. There's even a scene where a guy, he's talking about, like, you know, human nature. You can't tell if I'm being serious right now or not. And he's like acting like a psychopath. He's like, nah, I'm just okay. So the characters are definitely unique. I'll say that. The acting, it's not great, but not in a bad way. I'll say, as far as it being entertaining, it was an entertaining way that was done. If I had any other problems, it would be the pacing for the last 20 minutes of the movie. 28 minutes. It's 28 minutes long. The last 20 minutes of the movie is, it slows down. Like, really slows down. Like, they draw out certain scenes, and I'm talking, they drag these scenes out. The last 20 minutes is a little hard to get through because it's like fast-paced, 20 minutes is left, and it just slows down. It halts, and it becomes very sluggish. I don't know if it was time or budget, I don't know, but you could tell they were just, certain shots they would linger on for 4 or 5 minutes, and it's like, wow, like, it's done to build suspense, but I feel like some of those scenes kind of drag out a little bit too long. But those are just nitpicks. I mean, overall, this movie is great. I love the poster. The killer's design I thought was pretty cool. The kills I thought were decent. The look of the movie and the way it's directed I thought was done very well. I really enjoy the lore of the killer and the legend aspect of it. The music was creepy and atmospheric and moody. The movie has certain shots that I really love. Like there's a shot of Madman Mars in this tree, and this guy is trying to figure out what's in the tree. Like you see a shadow move and maybe some hair, but is it like you can't tell if it's a tree or if it's a human. That shot was pretty cool. The really dark scenes I thought were really well done with the shade and the shadows. The gore is definitely there when it is there. The kills are definitely there when it is. I like this idea that there's this axe stuck in this wood stump and nobody else can get it out, but when Madman Mars comes, he pulls it out and the whole log splits in half. That was badass. The Madman Mars character, I'm surprised, never really caught on because his design is cool. You could tell it had an influence in other slasher films. The kills are gory. And they definitely made him seem intimidating and strong. Like, he was definitely a well-done villain. And at the end of the movie, you even have a song about Madman Mars. The movie ends on a song about Madman Mars. So I'm surprised that this and My Bloody Valentine and The Burning never got sequels. I'm sitting over here like, they never got sequels? Like, The Burning just one movie? Madman's only one movie? You know, My Bloody Valentine only had one movie? Really surprising there wasn't sequels to this. But overall, I really enjoyed this movie. I definitely recommend it. I'm going to give it probably either a 6.5 or a solid 7 out of 10. Either or I can do. It's a really well done movie. I really enjoyed it. It's entertaining. It's fast. It's a short movie. It's got gore. It's got kills. It's got, bloody mayhem. It's got just the most hilarious lines of dialogue and characters. It was a really fun time. I'm definitely glad I checked this movie out, and I'm glad that John Grande helped put this movie out to me because, I have heard about it for years now, and I must say, it really is an impressive film. So, if you love slashers, if you love gory movies, if you love movies about killers and summer camps, slashing people, slashing these teens, then this is a movie for you. It's really well done. It's entertaining. It's moody and atmospheric, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this movie. So yeah, 6.5 or a solid 7 out of 10 for me. If you have seen this movie, how would you rate it? What's your thoughts on this movie? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. The Explorer 4 is out, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.